Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. Welcome. You have now just entered in my cipher into my world. What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? I'm drinking milk, key fair pause, and I'm back to do all the things I said I was going to do, man. I'm back to give y'all this breakdown on this crazy cult with white folks and a few black people sprinkled in as per the documentary I saw on Netflix. You know what? I might have to check out the joint on Prime Video too. I'm gonna see if I can catch the bootleg somewhere. So we back to do another breakdown of the Twin Flames. So this is based on the Twin Flames, Escaping Twin Flames universe. What do you call it? Documentary that came out on Netflix, where basically it's like a cult, but like via Zoom. It's like a real lazy cult. It's like a cult where it's like you're not really stuck nowhere. You pretty much this is all just real strong skullduggery. Shout out to Jeff and Shulia. Jeff is basically, let me see if I get a picture of BJ Novak on Office. Like if you watch The Office, right? Like they're like Jeff and Shulia are like these two. Let me see. Share this picture real quick, y'all. They're like these two. You know what I'm saying? So if you watch The Office, right? The Mindy Kaling character, which is pretty much, I mean, I don't watch anything she's in, but from what I hear, like she, really, she like, I mean, all right. So all non-black women have a secret love and desire to be with a white man, and they will get that white man. They will go through incredible lengths to get that white man. If that means dealing with an ugly white man, or white man that's not attractive or lame or dirty or just got the dirtiest sneakers or no gets haircut, she'll take him. All right. Mindy Kaling represents that. And on the show, the whole show, this guy ain't gonna lie, it's a bit of a like degrading character. If you ever watched The Office, right? The Mindy Kaling character is just I think his name is Brian. I forget his character on The Office, but she's like always on his dick. But if you watch The Office, right? Let me make sure that's his name. I'm sorry, y'all, because I want to be accurate. I believe he was Brian on Office. Hold on, The Office. My bad, Ryan. I said Brian. Ryan. So he was Ryan on The Office, right? So on The Office, Ryan, he starts off as an intern. As time goes on, like he levels up, he gets a promotion and whatnot. When he gets a promotion, like he changes completely. His ego is like through the roof. And he's like always involved in some shady stuff, but he's like always this is like not like an honorable guy. And the Mindy Kaling character, I forget her what was her name? I forget her name too. She just always forever on this nigga's dick. But anyway, I say that because it reminds me so much of Jeff and Shulia. Let's go ahead and now look at a picture of Jeff and Shulia. Yeah. Shulia. Okay, here we go. Boom. Reminds me like so much of them. Now, it's just, it just, yeah, especially like right here. Especially here. Right? Especially here. Anywho, let's get into it. So I want to let me get back to sharing who we talking about right here. So, oh my bad. You know what? I was not even sharing that part of my screen. My bad, y'all. Hold on. My bad, y'all. Not all right. So with this picture right here, like when I see them together, it reminds me so much of like the Ryan and Mindy Kaling like dynamic and whatnot, and just Ryan's whole character. You know what I mean? And Jeff is like pretty much like the most evil version of Ryan, actually, because I mean this dude is capable of just great evil. So we're gonna go ahead and continue to basically break down a portion of the documentary that involved the twin, because there's several stories going on at one time. But what we're focusing on right now is the story about there was one twin that joined the cult, one twin that didn't, and the twin and their mother are basically telling a story about, like, how they basically lost their sister, or they lost Stephanie, right? I don't know if I mentioned in part one, but Stephanie excommunicated herself from her family. She sent her family, I believe, a written letter, basically saying that she's moved on, and that she does not want to be contacted by her and her family anymore, and she blocked them on all social media and everything. You know what I mean? Let's go ahead. This so you guys can see who I'm talking about. Me pull up this picture real quick. Oh, that's not it. Oh, you know what I have to do? I have to do this. I'm not sharing the right window. Let me go. Boom. All right, so that's I don't know which one is which. They twins. I'm assuming the taller one is the one that's Stephanie. That's the one that be wilding. Hold on. Let me see if they have it here. You know what? I'm reading this caption under here. It's not really telling me which one is which. So anyway, it don't matter. So again, so the story is told on Netflix from their perspective, right? So I want to also share a video I found of basically Tiffany. So I'm sorry, Stephanie and her twin flame. You know what I mean? Actually, you know what? We'll leave that to the end. We'll leave it for the end. I want to continue doing this breakdown that I was doing the other day, right? Because I want to give you guys all of like my bars, okay? Real quick, hold on, let me just move this to the side so I can see myself. Come on, dog. I don't need you doing that. All right, so let's go ahead and break it down. So the sister Stephanie, like I was saying before, is the prototype. One of the first success stories for everyone to model themselves after. More so because she was like a great student, right? And she had a twin flame. Because Jeff and Julia were looking for people who actually at least had someone that they were very interested in and that they really wanted to be with. You know what I mean? So that Jeff and Julia could feed them this idea of, hey, look, that's your twin flame. It's almost like using like confirmation against you. Like was like, it's almost like you waking up one day and you just thinking, man, I feel like something terrible is going to happen today. You know what I'm saying? And then you spill your lunch on the ground, and your friend goes, "Oh my God, you were just saying something terrible is going to happen. This is probably going to be a tough day for you. Oh my God!" If your friends start doing that, right? Aren't they kind of like instigating? Aren't they? I don't know. It'll be a weird thing to do. But basically, they'll be using confirmation bias. That's not. I'm sorry. They'll be using confirmation against you. You know what I'm saying? Or observable confirmation. Listen, I'm gonna flesh out that term later on, but don't worry about that. Anywho, in this story, right, as far as like Stephanie, you get to see how Jeff and Julia pretty much bullshit their way around assigning someone an identity. That's a hard word for me. This works because everyone who gravitates towards them, everyone who gravitates towards this kind of thinking, right, has severe issues with their identity. People who are unsure about things, or more so people who don't practice certainty, or seem to have trouble staying on one thing or being consistent, they have a need to make drastic changes, right? And to me, that's a sign of low vibrational behavior. You know what I mean? Because this lack of consistency and the inability to follow routine is not a good thing. You know what I mean? It also means that that you're very impulsive, and that goes back to that fear of stability. So people like this guy have a fear of stability. They have a fear of routine. Because the person that's crazy, you know how you're crazy is when everything is backwards to you. Like things that should be good to you are just bad to you for some reason. That's why people who have like mental health problems, they abhor structure. When structure is the only thing that can save them. All right. We have a tendency to be self-destructive. When you find yourself being self-destructive, that's a low vibrational behavior. And that's a sign of depression. And that means that, you need to go ahead and clean that gut, drink a bunch of water, go for a long walk, get some sunlight, stop watching porn, stop jacking off, you know what I'm saying? And eat a bunch of eggs and steak and good food, all right? Because again, listen, passionate that gut microbiome helps a lot, man. Anywho. So so for people like this, right? It's very easy for them to begin to become unsure because they also have a desire for like feelings and experiencing things because they're not naturally happy or satisfied with who they are. They have an appetite for feeling shit. Try not to feel so much. And don't get me wrong, we all want to feel something, right? But also the idea is to do things that make you feel accomplished or feel good. People like this, people who are overly emotional will have a tendency to want to just engage in shit. You know what I mean? And the way it plays out is impulsive, spontaneous behavior. You know what I'm saying? And the solution to all of this shit starts with discipline and commitment to being your best self. It is always best to address the spiritual health and the physical health because everything fall behind that. The experiences I had, I was saying this shit earlier. The experiences I've had over the last year, if I didn't have Namio Renge Kyo, if I wasn't strong in my beliefs, if I ain't had no faith, and I don't care what you believe in, as long as you're trying to be the best version of yourself and trying to create value in the world, and you sacrificing for yourself and for your family, and for what's best, okay. But if I didn't have that, if I didn't have these have my intrinsic values together, I would have fell apart. We got to change ourselves from the inside out. We build ourselves from the inside out. That car ain't going to make things better. Them clothes ain't going to make nothing better, bro. If you're not, how you going to win if you ain't right within? Shout out to Lauren, whoever wrote that bar for her. Let's move along. I got like 10 minutes. So Stephanie, right? In the whole grand scheme of things, right? Stephanie is probably what gives Jeff and Shulia the balls, to make it a full-fledged cult. Because by that point, they refine the product. It's like, all right, we finally got something that people want to buy and that people will pay for. Right. And that's their fantasy of love. These people also, people that you're going to see in the film, we've seen this documentary, that they're all terrible at relationships and none of them are able to maintain a healthy relationship. And a lot of it has to do with either poor mental health not being addressed and a family not addressing it, right? Or the upbringing, all right? You're going to see one lady on there that's very overweight. I'll tell you right now, the biggest problem that you have not addressed is your freaking weight. That's the same as a guy saying, I ain't worked in 10 years because I don't want to and whatnot, but I just can't seem to meet a good girl. Anywho, so now, like I was saying before, Stephanie gives them the balls to make it a real cult, right? And effectively monetize a person's identity on a micro level. They monetize many things here, right? Because listen, the grift, this is a grift. Don't get it confused. Be very clear. We are witnessing this is a love grift. Watch the documentary, bro. It's a love grift. And listen, the grift, actually, no grift is complete. Because listen, this is a long grift. The grift isn't complete until they either have gotten upwards of $10,000 to $100,000 out of you, because cults always cost a lot of money. Scientology, it's mad expensive to be a Scientology member. They basically find ways to get almost $1 million out of all those celebrities who are part of it. They find a way to get about $1 million from them. They make them pay to take courses, and you'll see that in most cults. Because it's always a business. And it depends on how good of a businessman the cult leader is. If the cult leader is a good businessman, he's not going to do like Jim Jones and basically move you somewhere. He might get a compound. He's going to get a business or something you guys can do. And he's going to have y'all working there. He's going to find a way to get you to work for free. And kind of enslave you in a way. But anywho, so like we were saying before, cults cost money. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn, goodness, like, yo, cults cost a lot of money, man. Like, goddamn, like I just said, $10,000 over the lifespan of a cult. or you being in a cult, it might cost you $10,000 to $100,000 depending on how long you stay in the cult. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, God damn, yo, this girl, Stephanie could have paid to meet Beyonce in person like 10 times rather than be a part of this shit. You know what I'm saying? And anyone who's in the Twin Flames universe has to pay for monthly coaching. And they're basically in a Zoom scam. So, I mean, you know, it was funny was like this shit became popular. I believe this happened during the pandemic. So during the pandemic, it became very popular. I mean, to kind of do like, I could call them Zoom scams, where basically you had to pay to be on a Zoom call. And this person has monetized people being on a video call. Ain't no guarantees. You're not getting life-saving advice or nothing like that. This is just a random person online that's convinced you that you need to pay X amount of dollars to come kick it with me on Zoom. It's crazy. So, anywho, they monetize the Zoom call, right? But being as though the classes mostly take place online, you basically, I believe one of the girls said they was paying $222 a month to be on these calls. God damn. Now, mind you, these are just two regular people. They have not done anything in life. I'll tell you something. The economy may be crap right now, and it may seem like all hope is lost, but at the same time, this is the easiest setting that human beings have ever played on, because y'all are gullible enough to give someone money to be on a phone call. These two were resourceful enough to find a way to sell you nimcompoops a Zoom call. Let that sink in. All right. You know what? I'm gonna cut it from right there because I'm gonna be cutting it to Jeff a little bit, but I have to leave in a few minutes and whatnot. So I'm gonna go ahead and close with this. All right. So I believe I already mentioned this before about before about like knowing who you are. So I mean, I think I'm sorry. The main thing I want to do is point out this low vibrational behavior of lack of accountability and lack of consistency, and not seeing a problem with your lack of consistency, especially with your relationships with people. If you know someone or been around someone, or listen, some of us may have friends where like, yo, they have times where they have been very close to you, and then times where they have faded into obscurity, into the background. I've had like one of my best friends is one of my friends that taught me what it was like to have a consistent friendship with someone where they're always at least somewhat emotionally, I'm saying emotionally available, but basically like they're available to be your friend. You know what I'm saying? And be your friend in a real way, like saying like, yo, some friends make you feel like, yo, if you need their help, they're gonna come help you. Some friends make you feel like it ain't that comfortable. You know what I'm saying? And the friend I'm thinking about now is that, you know, we was always cool, and I never had high expectations of him. 1 second. Nothing like that. But I remember like growing up with him, right? He was one of like my first friends, like from my adulthood that I met during being an adult. I met him in college, and I still got a lot of love for him and whatnot. I remember the patterns of our friendship. Now at the time when we met, you know what I mean, I'm always grateful for him being in my life, because he was one of the young men I was friends with that had his shit together, or at least had his shit somewhat together, or more than me at the time. He was more independent than me. And so I learned how to be a man from a lot of these different guys who were just a little bit ahead of me in life. You know what I mean? I think that really helps, like, for you to make friends who are doing a little better than you. And I think I've kind of stopped doing that. I need to find some more friends who are doing better than me. You know what I'm saying? But anywho, but being around him at that time when we was younger, it did help me. But I remember over time, it was always this thing of it that it was always this thing where I had to accept that there was like very like pretty much low limitations. How can I put it? That we were friends, right? But he wasn't the kind of friend where I can rely on him, or I can call him and whatnot. I remember it was a couple of years ago. I think we moved a few times, and like, yo, get me wrong, we cool and everything, but he dead ass like called me to help him move. I'm like, nigga, I don't talk to you every day. I think I did help him one time. I'm like, bro, where your other friends at? Like, you don't got no other like good friends to call for this shit. Like, they gotta talk to you like all year. Like, anywho, but anyway, I think about him because like, yo, we would have just periods where we talking, we hanging out, we chilling and whatnot, or and then like I wouldn't hear from him for like mad long, or like I always look out for when people like won't come visit you. They won't come to, like, say if you got your own place. If someone that never comes to you, y'all friends and whatnot, yo, that's something that people with like emotional problems do. Like they're very lazy when it comes to like expressing friendship, but basically like it's kind of like sacrificing or going out their way and whatnot. Just I don't know how to put it. But anywho, be aware of stuff like that. That's not cool. It's not cool for someone to be in your life and then suddenly not be in your life. You know what I mean? And no one deserves that. But and also, if you're doing stuff like that, listen, you need to check yourself too. So I was saying before, I think Stephanie's problems, the lady I'm talking about right here, her problems were never addressed. I don't think anyone ever took her problem serious enough. Either that or they're not portraying that. The mother and the daughter, her sister and mother are not, they never speak to her mental health problems and how that played a factor in this whole thing here. So I want to share a video of where she kind of winds up at the end of this. And it's very interesting. And yeah. So anyway, I'll be back. Peace.